Hi everybody, how are you? I'm filming this afternoon after our first class. I'm hoping that you can watch this before our next class on Wednesday. Had a great time today meeting everybody, good conversation. Hopefully you have a good 4 days off. Okay, our topic on Wednesday will be equations. And so we've got equations here. We've got absolute value equations, and then we have inequalities. Not really equations, but inequalities. All right? So, you should be able to solve both of these equations pretty comfortably. That's part of the expectation coming in. And the key to all of this is the idea of balancing, right? So take away 3, take away 3. You know, what you do to one side, you got to do to the other to get x by itself. The key is to balance. And then divide by 2, x equals 7. Okay? You can do the same thing for the other side. You know, add 5 to both sides, then multiply both sides by -2. And that will get us our value of x. I could do it, I could put parentheses in, I could put x on both sides, I could do something like this. You know, where you've got x on both sides and collect your like terms, okay? All Algebra 1 stuff, I'm thinking you guys are pretty good, but you will get practice on this. You're going to do a little bit after the video, and then we'll do more in class. Absolute value equations. Do you remember this from Algebra 1? The absolute value means the distance away from 0. We kind of forget whether it's positive or negative, meaning this. What's inside those posts is either going to be 10 or -10, because the absolute value of 10 is 10, the absolute value of -10 is 10. So you would go x minus 2 equals 10, x minus 2 equals -10. Set up two equations. Got to do those and then solve both. So x is equal to 12. Add 2 to both sides. X is equal to -8. Okay, and those are your two answers. X equals 12 or x equals -8. You're going to kind of do the same thing here, but here's another thing you might want to put in your notes. And if I haven't said it yet, maybe you should, when you're watching this, have a little bit of a notebook. I might even start setting up some guided notes for you. We'll see. But you could start taking some notes down. The key is to get the absolute value of the posts by itself. So you've got to divide both sides by 3 first. Then you get that. 24 divided by 3 is 8. We're left with 2x. Now it's kind of easy. 2x equals 8. 2x equals -8. Solve for x. X equals 4. X equals -4. And those are our two answers. Inequalities are just like equations. You do the exact same thing. You balance. And you get x to be greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to something else. So take away 3. That's greater than, right there. Divide by 2. So x has got to be greater than 7. That's our answer for this one. X is greater than 7. Now, here's the one thing that maybe you remember, maybe you don't remember from inequalities. It's kind of our key thing. It's going to be important as we move along to remember this. Solve like you normally do. And -3 plus 5 is 2. Oh, x divided by -2 is here. So we're going to multiply both sides by -2. Cancels out. X there, -4 there. But because we multiplied by a negative number, this is going to change to greater than. We flip the sign. So flip the sign when you multiply or divide by a negative. Okay, that's the really important thing with inequalities. Not here. Add 5, multiply by -2. The equal sign obviously stays as an equal sign. Okay, so these are just, it's kind of a refresher video on equations, absolute value, and inequalities. And in your book, this covers 3 sections. This is 1-3, 1-4, 1-5. And I don't want to spend a day on each of these. I don't think that's worth it. I think we're pretty good with these types of things. We're going to play all of these out. I've got some high-level activities we're going to do Wednesday in class. And I need you to be able to do these. And when you take a quiz with me, you've got to be pretty good with your equations, absolute value, and inequalities, which if you look at your schedule is going to be coming up fairly quick. We've got a quiz pretty early on. So check your calendar for that. All right, everybody? So that's our video. You can watch it a couple times. I want you to submit the Google form that I've done with this too. All right? Have a good weekend.